Hi, my name is Newell Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update of how our compost rolls are doing inside the bin. So we added 3 compost rolls, and it's now been over 30 days, and I think it's been, 18 days since my last update, and it's time to go through and take a look how they're doing and see if the worms have really started to work in there. So let's go to the rolls and take a look. All right, so here's the date we started the bin. Here's my last update, and today is the 28th. So right update on there again. And now we're ready to take the lid off and see how it looks. And look at that, you can already see a massive amount of progress. As far as moisture, maybe a little dry in there. There's moisture on one end, but not the other end. But, you know, that can happen. This does actually look plenty moist to me. But let's go dig in and take a look and see how this is going. So first off, as you notice, this one here in the middle, let's just see if I can pull this up. It's completely broken open. And there's worms in here. You can see one right there. You can see one right there. And they are working this thing through. So this one is pretty much already open. They left the paper on the top, but they are working through this. You can see you got nice big healthy worms in here. So they look good. Let's just dig in here a little bit, see if we can find any scraps. Whoops, sorry. There we go. Dig in here. You can see the bottom of the paper here. That's still pretty visible and legible. Maybe it'd be better to use 1 sheet of paper instead of 2. And then you can see some of the food scraps right here along with this worm. So there are some scraps in here. In this one at least. Oh, here we go. Here's a big one. So this is a leaf of an avocado that we had. And as you can tell, it still looks pretty decent as far as the shape it's in. But a lot of the other stuff in here seems to be gone. Here we go. So they're starting to break this apart, but they have not consumed everything. These avocado leaves might be a little tougher maybe. Maybe that's why they're taking longer to break down. So now, remember, this hasn't been as long as you don't normally let them sit either. So let's go to this other one right here. All right. So the bottom of this one is still intact. The worms are definitely inside here though. You can see right here the leaves again, these avocado leaves that are in this one. And they're starting to work at this material and it's starting to break down. And the paper peels right apart. And the inside actually looks fairly empty. I'm ripping this apart right now, but there's not much on the inside of this other than those leaves. It looks like all the other food in here is gone. It looks like just these leaves are having trouble breaking down. Everything else is gone. And again, nice healthy worms in there too. So just shows that maybe these things are just harder to break down or just take longer. So this is the first time I'm trying these avocado leaves from when I made some avocado, and actually there's some worms in the middle of them. So we'll put that back in here, kind of flip this over, and we'll let that just sit. And now let's go to this last one here. And this one, oh, a ton of worms over here by the side. Let me just see if I can grab some of these guys. So as you can see right here by the side underneath it, there's a ton of worms. And I want to drop them. And again, on this one, it feels very light. Let's just see. It doesn't look like, I don't know if they're inside on this one. I'm not seeing any real holes here, but let's just rip this one apart. Same thing, lots of these avocado peels. I guess these are not breaking down like I thought, but they are a little bit. They're starting to be see-through, but the tops are a little bit tougher, I guess. But let me just see here. But there's no other food in here. I mean, that's it. It's just these avocado peels and all 3 of these. So any fruit or vegetable matter is already gone. And actually even these, I mean, like there's a lot of these in here, in these piles, and they're starting to work through these as well. So as you can tell, this is working. This actually might be my last update for this one. But they are definitely working at this material, and they look nice and healthy. Might have to put some more in here actually. Maybe that's what we should do next, is add some more of these compost rolls with some different materials in them, now that we've kind of broken these open. As you can see, nice and healthy worms all through these bags of compost, or these bags of food for to compost. And nice healthy worms, you know, nice mature healthy worms right here. So this works really well. It's a way to control feeding too. I mean, you're not going to overfeed, I feel, with these. And you can kind of check on them and make sure it's gone. It's very easy to mark locations. As you can tell, obviously, I'm ripping these open. Normally, I'd wait till they're just completely dissolved in here and then add more food. But the only thing I will suggest is maybe not 2 rolls of paper. I think 2 rolls of paper might be one too many. This paper under here, I mean, like, you can still read it. Read this paper in here, and that's not a good thing. You want it to kind of dissolve a little faster than that. So you guys shouldn't be able to see the advertisements for Fox Chase Apartments on here. So, you know, so that's the only thing I might suggest is maybe just 1 sheet of paper instead of 2 when you're doing this. Just trying to see what else might be able to find in here. I'm not seeing anything else, though, in here. I mean, really, it's just those avocados. Sorry, not avocados. Artichokes. Artichokes, not avocados. The artichoke peels, not the avocado shells. Those also last a long time, and I was just looking at a bin with some of those as well. The artichokes, these leaves tend to be a little bit tougher. Maybe they have some sort of protection, I guess, from the outside here from being broken down, but the inside seems to be going a little bit more. And this one, like this one here's a good example. It looks very stringy, and it's starting to go. So, artichokes. That's what we had last time, and that's what I threw in here. But everything else is gone. I mean, there was other food in these bags, and that's all gone. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move all this over here. Let's just see here. This feels a little bit. Let's just see how this is too, and down here. So this is all a little bit. It's kind of moist in the bottom. There's a slight odor to it. Actually, it's a citrusy odor. I think because I had oranges in here at one point. Just try to turn all this over, maybe freshen this up a little bit. There's worms all through this bin, though. There's tons of worms in here. And that citrus smell. So I can definitely smell the oranges I had in here at one point. Overall, I think this worked pretty well. And I would definitely recommend doing this if you're just starting out, especially to control food and make sure you're not throwing too much food in your bins. This is a great way to do it. You could put in a small layer of castings or bedding material to turn into castings, and then you add compost rolls on the top. And you can put them in one corner here, and then as you see that one deflate, you can put one here, and they'll just slowly rotate around as you go through your bin with these compost rolls. Or you can load it up. You can load up, as I did with this one. I put in 3 of them at once. I'm just kind of mixing things up right now, just taking a look. There's worms all through this bin. It's a little bit wet, more wet than I normally would have these. As far as the material, it looks like it's something if I were to squeeze it, I'd get a little bit more than I'd want. But overall, it's not too bad. Might have to dry it out a little bit, but I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bury this food in here so we don't get fruit flies and stuff. And then maybe in another week or 2, we'll try this again with maybe something a little bit different. I'm going to add in another compost roll, and we'll add it into the same bin. We're going to see, though, if we can get these broken down a little bit more, or maybe I'll start a new bin in general just to try this out. So this is how compost rolls work. And as you can tell, it's breaking down really well, and they're doing a great job of doing that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Or if you have anything that you want to see broken down in a compost roll, let me know as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, please subscribe. And I also have some links down at the bottom to purchase some of the equipment that I use. So thank you for watching, and until next time.